First of all, we will start with the basic thing that what is a physical quantity? Physical quantity. Physical quantity means, I told you I think yesterday also, that physical means which can be measured. Any quantity whose measurement can be done. So quantity that can be measured. Any quantity which can be measured, and for measurement obviously it should be visible from the eyes. So any quantity that can be measured directly or indirectly. Directly means, suppose with the help of inch tape you measure the length, that is direct measurement. And indirect measurement is, suppose like without means we have not directly measured that what is the distance of sun from the earth directly, means without, means we have not measured the distance with any kind of inch tape or something like that, but we know the distance of sun from earth, so that is a kind of indirect measurement. Okay, so physical quantity is any quantity which can be measured, that we call as physical quantity, and they obey, one more criteria is that they obey physical laws. Physical laws. So any quantity that can be measured and that obeys the physical laws are called as the physical quantities. Now, what is a unit? Suppose we are measuring the length in terms of meter or centimeter. So meter, what is meter? Meter is a kind of standard. We know that what is the length of 1 meter, and suppose then now we want to find out the length of a room or some other, means the distance between two poles. Then we use that meter and we find out that how many times that unit is required, means how many times it is involved in the measurement of that particular quantity. So that is called as a unit. Any standard which is used to measure the quantity. Standard means it has to be well defined and its exact measurement must be known. So what is unit? Unit is a standard. Any standard, like suppose second is the unit of time. Okay, minute is also a unit of time. Similarly, we have Newton as the unit of force. We measure force in terms of Newton. So these are called as the units. These are the standards. Okay. Okay. Next is, now we will discuss about that about the various units related to the primary physical quantities. See. There are some quantities which are called as fundamental. Now if I talk particularly about the quantities, then these quantities can be divided into two parts: fundamental and derived. Fundamental and derived. Now if I ask you to find measure the length of a room, then there is no other option. You need the direct measurement only. Means you need an inch tape and you will measure, you will put that inch tape and you will measure the length. Means there are few quantities which can only be measured directly. Okay, those quantities are called as fundamental quantities. Now if I ask you to find out the area of the floor of that particular room, then what you will do, you will measure the length, you will measure the breadth. So length and breadth you will measure fundamentally, direct observation, direct measurement. But for area you don't need the direct measurement, you can find out by L into B. So derived quantities are those which can be obtained by use of some mathematical calculation over the fundamental units. Means fundamental units are those, fundamental quantities are those which can only be directly measured. Derived are those which can be obtained, which can be derived from the fundamental quantities. You can obtain them from fundamental quantities. Like, once again, F is equal to MA. You can write this as M into V upon T, you can write m into L upon T square. L is displacement. Now F is your derived quantity. M, L, T, they are fundamental quantities. V is obtained by L upon T, so it is also derived. A is obtained by taking the ratio of V to T, again a derived. So this is derived, this is derived, this is derived, but they are fundamental quantities. So basically the fundamental quantities, initially when this concept started, the fundamental quantities were mass, length and time. They were supposed to be the fundamental quantities, and all other quantities were kept as the derived quantities. Okay. Now how we measure the mass? We will start one by one. That what are different units we have for the measurement of mass, and I will discuss with you the old definition of that unit, then a definition which was used in the modern times, means it was changed because of a certain reason, that also I will discuss with you that what were the reasons, and now latest we have new definitions that we have adopted. So first of all, I'm not talking about the latest definitions now, I will discuss it later on. First of all means I will tell you that what were the old definitions, very old definitions, and then the definitions which were adopted by making change in that old definition. So the first one I will talk about is mass, and the unit is kilogram. Mass and the unit is kilogram. So mass is a fundamental quantity, and 1 kilogram, how 1 kilogram was defined, that old definition, I am writing about the old definition. 1 kilogram mass is equivalent to mass of 1 cubic decimeter of water at 4 degrees Celsius. Whatever was the mass of 1 cubic decimeter of water at 4 degrees Celsius, that was supposed to be the mass equivalent to 1 kg. Means 1 kg mass is equivalent to the mass of 1 cubic decimeter of water at 4 degrees Celsius. This was the old definition. I think you must be knowing that what is decimeter. Decimeter is 10 times, see, 1 meter equals to 100 centimeter, and or you can simply say that we can write like this:
1 meter is equal to
10 decimeter. Okay, then 1 decimeter is equal to 10 centimeter, and 1 centimeter equals to 10 millimeter.
10 meter.
Right? So this is the this is your I've written this for unit conversion. So 10 decimeter. Decimeter we denote by small d and m. Small dm. Right? Now this is called as capital DM is called as decameter. This is 10 meter. Okay, so you can remember like this: millimeter, centimeter, decimeter, meter, decameter. They are means in the increasing order, they are the multiples of 10. Multiples of 10. You multiply the previous one with 10 and you get the next unit. So
and then after that hectometer.
Yes, we have several others also, but I am not going to that part. Means basically what we need these one. We generally confuse among decameter and decimeter. I am talking about the students. They generally confuse between decameter and decimeter. So you will have to remember decameter is 10 meter and decimeter is 10 centimeter. Okay. Okay, so this was the old definition of 1 kg mass. Now there was some problem. That problem is that mass of water at 4 degrees Celsius is not, it not only depends on the temperature only, it depends on the pressure also. Means the mass of water mass of 1 cubic decimeter of water at 4 degrees Celsius itself will be different at different places on earth. Because suppose if you go to Tibet is at a very high altitude, so the pressure there is low as compared to a place which is nearly at the sea level, like our the southern India, or you can take any other country. So it means that since the pressure changes, so therefore the mass will also change. Okay, this is the reason, means this definition that we adopted previously initially, it depends actually on the physical conditions, and so it may vary from place to place and person to person. Suppose if I want to know that how much is 1 kg of mass, I will take 1 cubic decimeter of water, and I will say that okay, this is the mass, this is 1 kg mass. But some other person in suppose Britain or America or Canada, he will, if he want to take, if he will take the same volume of water at same temperature, his mass may be different from my mass, and I am saying that my mass is 1 kg, and he will also say that his mass is 1 kg, but there is some difference. Now you may say that that difference may not be that much, means it may not be so large that it should be considered. But you think about that situation, because we need there are few occupations in which we need the precise measurement, like that business that goldsmith is doing. They are measuring gold in terms of that tola, and 1 tola is, I think it is equal to 10 grams. So if a small difference will be there, if even a small difference will be there in kg, in my kg and a person who is living in America or somewhere else in his kg, then it will create a problem. Okay, so for me that mass of gold will be different, and for him it will be different. So I think now you can understand that what is the problem behind such type of definitions, because they depend on the physical conditions, and we need such type of definitions which actually should be free from the physical conditions. They should not depend on the physical conditions like pressure and temperature. Okay, so the new definition was adopted, and that definition is, they made a platinum iridium this is a combination of 2 metals, so it is called as alloy. Okay, they took this alloy and they made a cylinder of this alloy. They made a cylinder, and they said that the mass of this cylinder is equal to the mass of this cylinder is equal to the mass 1 kg. Means, and who made it? That also I will tell you. 1 kg. We have a general body that maintains that worldwide there is a body that regulate the use, means that regulate the these units, the use of units, that which unit should be adopted. And most of the countries, I think none of the countries left, almost all the countries are obeying the rules made by that international body. It is called as International Bureau of Mass and Measurements. Its headquarters is in France. It's near Paris. There is a place called as Sèvres. Okay, so that body internationally, it designs the structure of this units. It is that body is internationally responsible for designing the units and for determining that how much should be a unit. Means suppose 1 kg mass, how much should be a mass of 1 kg, how much it should be. So what they did, they took this alloy, platinum iridium alloy, and they made a cylinder. And that cylinder, they said that whatever is the mass of this cylinder, that mass will be considered as 1 kg mass. And now whatever we are using all over the world is actually the replica of that cylinder, that platinum iridium cylinder. Where this platinum iridium cylinder is kept, it is that International Bureau of Measurement and International Bureau of units and measurement. I think its name is like that, and I will check this. I will just find out that name somewhere. Afterwards, I will tell you what is the exact name of that. But it's a kind of bureau that regulates the measurement of that regulates the use of the units throughout the world. So its headquarters is at Paris. So there, at their headquarters, they had kept that original platinum iridium, that alloy cylinder, and they have distributed the replicas of that cylinder to means the member countries, and then those member countries, they have their internal bodies who regulate these units. So they then make the replica of that replica, the first replicas, they make the replica and distribute among the people, so that they can use that that body, that replica as 1 kg mass. So this is the method. So this is the new definition. That was the new definition. But few months back, this definition is also changed. The reason is, the simple reason is that first thing is, this platinum iridium alloy is kept at at Sevres at a particular temperature and pressure. They have kept inside the box. It is kept inside a box, and that box is having a maintained pressure and temperature. But it is not possible for a common man to maintain that particular temperature and pressure. Suppose a person is using, a simple shopkeeper is using 1 kg mass to sell his articles. Now he cannot measure, he cannot maintain that temperature. Again, that alloy, the replica of that alloy is going to a hot country like a country in Africa, as well as it is going to a very cold country like Canada also. So due to the huge variation in temperature, there will be some, definitely there will be some changes in the mass of that not exactly the mass, but you will say that volume. Okay, so there will be some differences will come up. So, and second thing, suppose they gave us a replica. Okay, whatever actual measurement they have done, but as I told you that whenever you do some measurement, an error will be always there. Now that that replica came to India. Now the Indian government, that body that regulates the use of that units, they will make again the second replica. Now second replica will have errors more than the first replica. So it will, that means that this the difference in actual measurement and the second replica's measurement will be large. So error will be large. Now that Indian government is making the second replica, and then they are distributing it to state governments. Now state government is again making the third replica. Then the state government is distributing that to district headquarters. Then they are making another replica. So it means that when it reaches to a common person for his use, there is a large amount of error. So that is why this definition was again changed. Means it has to be changed. So they changed it afterwards, and that just a few months back. Means in all other units, when we will discuss further, in all other units, they have changed the definition to some such kind of condition that which does not depend on the physical condition, that I will tell you afterwards. Only in the case of mass, we were carrying that definition of platinum iridium alloy till now. But just few months back, this definition was also changed, but it is still not included in your syllabus. So in our syllabus, we are still using, for the 1 kg mass, we are still using this definition. It is equivalent to the mass of a platinum iridium alloy cylinder kept at Sevres near Paris in France at constant temperature and constant pressure. Still we will use that definition only. But few months back, I am telling you, few months back, it is also changed. And now the definition they are using, they are trying to develop, is according to the atomic behavior. It means atomic standards. So that you can go through the internet. In our syllabus, we have only this definition. for this latest as a latest definition also for kg. Okay, next is, this was about the kg. Now next is meter, that is unit of length. Length, and it is meter, denoted by small m. Now the definition, that old definition was 1 upon 10th millionth, 1 upon 10 millionth part of distance between North Pole and South Pole of Earth. Sorry, not South Pole, but just a minute. North Pole and equator. The distance, suppose we have this Earth, this is the equator, and this is North Pole. So this distance, it's 1 upon 10 millionth part. It's 1 upon 10 millionth part was considered as 1 meter. But as you can easily understand that this old definition will be full of errors as 1/10 millionth part, because if you will make the measurement of North Pole from the equator, then it will be different from different points. Means you are measuring from the surface. Now at in some particular direction that distance will be different, and from other particular direction it will be different, because Earth is not a complete sphere. Its shape is not exact sphere. So this distance will come out to be different when you will measure in different directions. So this old definition was full of errors. Now what was the changed definition, the new one? Latest one I will discuss later on. The new definition is that international body again made a scale, they made a rod again of platinum iridium. They made a rod of platinum iridium alloy and marked two points on the rod, and that distance between the 2 points, they said that it is equal to 1 meter, and they kept that rod again at constant pressure and temperature at Sèvres near Paris in France, and distributed the replica all over the world. So that was the new definition of 1 meter, right? So this means till some time back we were having actually the specimens in the form of platinum iridium oil alloy for length and mass, which were kept at Paris, at Sèvres near Paris. So I think the name of that body is International Department of Weights and Measures. International Department of Weights and Measures, and its headquarter is, they have headquarter, this is international body, and their headquarter is at Sèvres near Paris. And what they do at a particular interval of time, after some particular interval of time, they used to have conduct a conference in which they invite actually the people, means the renowned scientists, or you can say the people, means which means those who represent their countries, that we call the people from all over the world, they call scientists, and they conduct a conference and they make the decisions that how that in next means ahead how they are going to use the definition, what changes they need to make in any kind of definition, or means any kind of change they discuss about the changes in terms of this units, and they convey that message that we have decided like this, and they convey that message all over the world, and that change is then followed from there. Okay, so this is the process they use to conduct the conferences. So whatever they decide in the conference itself. And the name of the body is International Department of Weights and Measures. Okay.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, it is not department, it's bureau. International Bureau of Weights and Measures.
International Bureau of Weights and Measures. Okay. Have you checked
Yes,
it?
sir.
Have you checked?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I am confused here. Actually, the word. Okay, I don't remember exact word. I think it was department or bureau. Earlier, I think I said about bureau only, no? Bureau. Bureau. Right? Am I right? The spelling is correct? What's the spelling?
Bureau.
Bureau. Okay. So that is in okay. It should be. It may be International Bureau. I was confused. I said earlier also that I'm a little bit confused about this word particularly. Is it department or bureau? It's okay. International Bureau of Weights and Measurements. Okay. Weights and measures means we have a international body that controls the definitions and all these, means that control everything about the units in the world. Okay, that what I wanted to tell you. So this is about the unit of length, and that is meter. Next is second for time. Time, the unit is second, and how 1 second is defined. Here we have not changed the the definition. The old and the new definitions were similar, means exactly same. But the latest definition, what I am saying, the latest about is when we adopted the SI system, Standard International System, when we adopted that system of units. At that time, we changed the definition of all the units. So that we will discuss in the when I will talk about the Standard International System, SI system. That time I will give you the definitions which exactly we are following now. Okay. So this time, the definition of 1 second was the time taken by a simple pendulum of length 1 meter to complete one oscillation. Okay. Suppose you have a pendulum, not one oscillation, it should be like this. You take this pendulum to one end and release it, it comes back and then moves to the other side. Now from here you start the time, suppose, then it will reach to the other extreme position in 1 second if this length is 1 meter. Time taken by a pendulum of length 1 meter to reach from one extreme position to other extreme position. That time interval was called as 1 second. Okay. What is the condition? That length of the pendulum should be 1 meter. Length of the pendulum means length of the thread plus radius of the bob of the pendulum. Means you will have that will the effective length. What we are talking about is the effective
So
length.
radius or diameter?
Radius, beta, radius. Because you will take the center of the bob. Now center's distance from the point of from the point from where we are hanging the bob is this length. Okay. So this length is equal to this length of the string plus radius of the bob. This is called as the effective length of the pendulum. So if the effective length of the pendulum is 1 meter, then the time taken by the pendulum to reach from one extreme position to other extreme position is considered as 1 second time interval. This was the definition for 1 second. Okay. Okay. All right. So now these are the now we discussed about the old definitions and the new definitions, but these definitions will change. They changed actually when we adopted the system international, the standard international system, that new system which we call as SI system. And nowadays the system which we are following is the SI system. You will see that when we will proceed through the syllabus, you will see that I will, for each and every quantity, I will be writing two things. One is the dimensional formula and other is the SI unit. Nowadays we are following the SI system. Okay. Now I move on to the next topic. And yes, one more thing, a small topic is there. One mean solar second. Mean solar second. This is also called as one mean solar second. Okay. This mean solar second was that one definition was that one, means the time interval between the time taken by the pendulum to reach from one extreme position to other extreme position when its effective length is 1 meter. Okay. There is something called as mean solar second also. It is actually the time interval between two continuous means 1 second is okay. I will first of all I will tell you that what is the time between two noons. It is 24 hours into 60 minutes. Now it becomes minutes and now it becomes seconds. So this is your time between two continuous noons. So 1 second, how much will be 1 second? It will be 1 upon 24 into 60 into 60 part of time between two noons. Whatever is the time between two noons, you take 1 upon 24 into 60 into 60th part. That is equivalent to 1 second. Okay. So this second is also called as the mean solar second, because the mean time interval between two successive noons is this. This is the mean time. Okay, this is mean time, not exact. Sometimes it will be a little bit more or it can be a little bit less, but the average value is this. So that is why we call it as a mean solar second. Solar means according to the situation of the position of the sun. So solar and mean solar second. Okay. Okay, now we move on to the next topic. Okay, I already discussed with you that what are fundamental and what are derived units. Fundamental units are those which can only be directly measured. Example, mass, length, time. They can be directly measured only. Then derived units are those which can be obtained from the fundamental units. Means direct measurement is not required. You can obtain them through some mathematical operations from the fundamental units. Now the different type of systems of units. Systems of units. The first one is FPS. Now we are talking from the beginning. That from the beginning, what were the different systems of units that the people were using. First one is FPS system, which is called as foot pound second. Before SI system, we used to considering that only mass, length and time, they are the fundamental quantities. When we adopted SI system, that time we increased the number of fundamental units from 3 to 7. Okay, so before SI system, we used to think that there are only 3 fundamental units and all other units can be obtained from these only, that mass, length and time. So that is why in FPS system we have foot, pound, second. Means foot for length, pound for mass and second for the time interval. And this was also called as the British system. This was the British system, right? But there was a problem. Why we rejected this FPS system? That this was not a, actually it was not a metric system. Metric system. It was not a metric system. Metric system means the multiples and submultiples. Like just I gave you an example that 1 meter is equal to 10 decimeter. Then 1 decimeter equals to 10 centimeter. Now 1 meter equals to 100 centimeter, or 1 meter is equal to 1000 millimeter, right? So you can see here that the multiples and submultiples, they are the means the bigger unit is a multiple is a multiple of 10 of the smaller unit. Suppose meter, how you can obtain meter? You multiply by means suppose from decimeter you have a decimeter quantity, you want to obtain meter, then divide that by 10, it will become meter. So, or if you want to convert from meter to decimeter, you simply multiply by 10. From meter to millimeter, multiply by 1000, which is a multiple of 10 only. 10 is for 3. Meter to centimeter, multiple of 10, 10 square. So a metric system is that in which the multiples and submultiples are multiples and submultiples are in the powers of 10. Okay, so that it becomes easy to remember. Now the problem was in this British system, that FPS system, the problem was that it was not a metric system. Means the multiples and submultiples were not the powers of 10. Okay, it means that to you will have to remember a large number of values from if you have a submultiple, then you don't have a unique method, means multiples of 10 like this. Okay, that is my point here. So it was not a metric system. Okay, then second was your CGS system. CGS, centimeter for length, gram for mass, and second for time. And this was French system. French system. Okay, this was French system. But now we have limited the use of this CGS system also. We are not using this system much. The main reason is the quantities and means the submultiples are very much small, are inconveniently small. Means these quantities are already very small, and when we take the submultiples, means they are smaller units, it becomes even smaller. So the quantities are means simply the meaning is centimeter is a very small quantity for the proper for daily use, or you can say for the professional use. Centimeter is a smaller quantity. Means generally the lengths are in the order of meters. Okay, so for that for measuring the general for the general measurement, centimeter, we find that centimeter is generally a smaller unit, is not that much convenient, is inconveniently small, simply to say. So the units are inconveniently small in CGS system. That's why we have limited the use of CGS system also. This was French system. Now the third one that came into existence is MKS system. Meter for length, kilogram for mass, and second for this time. And this was again a French system. French system. So you can see that French people have did a lot of work on this units and measurements, and that may be the reason. I'm not saying exactly that this should be the reason, but that may be the reason that we have the headquarters in Paris of this international body, International Bureau of Weights and Measures. So that can be a reason, that I hope can be a reason. But this was again, MK system was a French system. Now the units, what is the difference in this MK system and the presently using our SI system? So there I want to tell you that the SI system which we are using nowadays is the developed form of this MKS system only. means the length, mass and time, the units are similar to that were used in MKS system, means meter, kilogram and second, but we added 4 more fundamental quantities to it. We simply added 4 more quantities and then it becomes the SI unit, SI system. So MKS system is means our SI system is based on MKS system only, and this was your MKS system, which says that there were only 3 fundamental units: length, mass and time, and the units were meter, kilogram and second. Nowadays we are using the 4th one, that is SI system. SI system it is like system international. Okay, but they write in a different manner. System, they write something like this, because in French their pronunciation is different, so they used to write like this: System International D unites, like this. System international D unites. They used to speak like this: System International D unites, because of their French pronunciation. But what we generally know, we know this system by this name: System International, SI system. By this name we know this system. Okay, and this is nothing but the improved form of your MKS system. This is obtained from this MKS system only. Okay, all right. Now let us talk about the SI system. Definitions we will discuss tomorrow. I will just tell you that what is SI system. SI system, quantity and the unit. First quantity is mass and the unit is kilogram. Second quantity is length and it is meter. What I am writing here are the fundamental quantities that are involved in making the SI system. So how many fundamental quantities we have? We have 7 fundamental quantities plus 2 supplementary plus 2 supplementary quantities. 7 fundamental plus 2 supplementary quantities. So second fundamental is length, third is time, and the unit is second. The fourth one is temperature, and the unit is Kelvin. Okay, temperature is also now considered as the fundamental quantity, means it can be directly measured only. You cannot obtain with some calculation, you cannot derive it. Okay, then fifth is electric current, and the unit is ampere, right? Then next is sixth is luminous intensity, the brightness of a source of light, how bright the source of light is, that is luminous intensity, and the unit is candela. This is kilogram, this is meter, second, then Kelvin, ampere and candela. Okay, the seventh one is quantity of matter. quantity of matter, and the unit is mole. M-O-L-E. We denote this unit mole by M-O-L, and the word is actually mole. M-O-L-E. Now with these 7 fundamental quantities, we have 2 supplementary quantities. The first one is plane angle. Plane angle, the unit is radian. I discussed earlier with you. Radian. And second is solid angle. And the unit is steradian. Okay, so this is your standard international system.